Hello and welcome to episode 25 of VocTer Gaming. I'm your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Rain, and we are here with Game 4 of mTwDIMAGA vs mouz.MaNa in the Assembly Cup. We are jumping into it. This is on Shakuras Plateau, spawning in the northwest as the Red Zerg. He is mTwDIMAGA, there with the good manners as always. And of course, in the northeast, we have our green Protoss, currently 2 games to 1 up. He is mouz.MaNa. Now, this has been getting exciting this week. I'm really enjoying this Assembly Cup series, between these two players. Of course, Mana is currently 2 games to 1 up. And if mTwDIMAGA can take this, it will be levelled at 2-all, and we will go to a deciding game, which I will cast tomorrow, should it happen. Of course, if Mana takes this game with his excellent Void Ray play, then I will get tomorrow off, which will be quite nice for me. But of course, I am secretly rooting for mTwDIMAGA, one of my favourite players, especially out of Europe. Love his Zerg play. I love his expansion timings. I love his attack timings. I think he's just a very solid, sensible player. Maybe not as risky or as exciting as some of the Korean Zergs, of course, but he does have very good sense of attack timings as well, which I quite like. Now, this is of course the ESL version of Shakuras Plateau, which means there are no backdoor rocks anymore, which is very, very nice. I hated those things. Just in general play as well, I found it. While I do like the inclusion of certain of the rocks and the destructible debris and such like, it can get frustrating, especially in pro games. Having this opened up, it made this map so hard for Zergs to take proper expansions. Now, as you notice, good gas timing for that spawning pool, so he is going for the very fast Zergling speed, as he often does. While we see Mana quickly expanding there on 16, which is generally the expansion timings for Korean Zergs, but of course, as we know, mTwDIMAGA does not like to expand that fast. And as we see Mana going for his standard wall off, going Forge first, fast expand, which is a decent strategy. It's not always one I favour personally as Protoss, but I do like the quick wall off you get. I do like the defensible expansion, and of course the cannons do help later on if Mutalisks pop out to try and harass mineral lines. So it is a very solid opening. And here we see the Lings coming down, taking that out, so that mTwDIMAGA can then expand on 19. Now again, this is a decent map for expanding, especially in the positions they are. As in cross positions like this, it means mTwDIMAGA can take this base, this base, this base, this base, this base, this base, without ever expanding towards Mana, which is always good for a Zerg, because you want as many expansions as possible without being any closer to your opponent. These things are going to be a slight nuisance, but the cannon does stop them. Very nice timing on that cannon there by Mana. He does know what he's doing. Now this Overlord up here is just seeing everything that's going on. He sees the double gas timings, so he knows it probably more Void Ray play, I imagine, from Mana. I think that's been pretty much his strategy against mTwDIMAGA, and it worked quite well in the first 2 games. When he eventually, in the first game obviously he went Colossus and then made the switch to Void Ray, and of course in the second game where he went Void Ray instantly and demolished mTwDIMAGA. However, for the past 2 games it has not worked as well. He's really struggled against mTwDIMAGA's expansions play. In the latest games, mTwDIMAGA has set up, look at that, again a fast third from mTwDIMAGA, expanding at the 5-minute mark again. Something I really like to see. With the slower expansion here, he has to take something like this very early on to make sure he keeps the advantage, the economic advantage. As we see, this Overlord is seeing everything. He's seen everything at the front. He knows this expansion here. He knows how many probes there are, and he sees the double gas. So right now, he knows everything that's going on in Mana's base, whereas Mana knows nothing of that expansion or that expansion. That is quite poor scouting from Mana. I'm not a fan of it. I do believe, unless you're going to tech either to Hallucinate or to Fast Observer that you really should be getting scouting in. However, we do have a Stargate going down. Stargate going down here for mana, which is an interesting choice because of course it will be visible to anything running up close to it. However, it does keep it away from these overlords, which is very, very useful. That sentry there tickling that overlord into submission will perhaps eventually get it, or perhaps the overlord will escape. This one speedling here, just making sure that nothing's pushing out of the base. And as we see, it is yet again Void Ray play from mouz.MaNa. While mouz.MaNa is going for the fairly early evolution chamber. Very similar playstyles to what we've seen before. Now this hatchery is morphing to the lair. Very, very simple, very, very normal. Roach Warren now going down for mouz.MaNa, along with the +1 upgrades in the melee attacks for both players being upgraded rather. And now Mana finally making more than one Void Ray at the start of a game. I like this. I like getting a few Void Rays out and moving in. I think this can do a lot of damage if controlled correctly. However, Mana's Void Ray control has not been up to scratch in this game. As we see, he's going full on Void Ray. You want to wait until you've hit about 3 to 4 Void Rays, and then you can push in and you can kill a lot of stuff with that many Void Rays. What he has to focus on now though is being able to defend here should mouz.MaNa attack, and essentially stopping him from seeing that this is coming. The later mouz.MaNa knows about these Void Rays, the better the attack will be for Mana. As we see now, he is swapping to Phoenix Construction, so these 3 Void Rays are going to be the best. Now, mouz.MaNa is moving his forces out, however that is good for him as these speedlings will be able to do 0 against the Void Rays and would instead just die to them. He is going to push in at the front here, but these 3 Void Rays are going to come in the back, and there is only 1 Queen and 1 Spore Crawler here. Now the question is, how much damage can he do? Quickly focusing down that Spore Crawler. Very clever play now, bringing back that 1 shieldless Void Ray, making sure that it doesn't take too much hull damage. But there are 3 Queens here now. He could lose some of these Void Rays if he's not careful. 1 Void Ray already goes down, and all he's done so far is destroy 1 Queen and 1 Spore Crawler. Good transfusion there. Now he does manage to lift a Queen, so this attack could still do something useful. Another Queen goes down. That leaves him with just 1 Queen with the 2 Rays and Phoenix here. But 2 Spore Crawlers are now going to finish, which is he has to pick up and leave. He has to go attack somewhere else. Now I like this. I like this from mouz.MaNa. He's still expanding down here, knowing that his main base is under threat. He is choosing to expand further away. Now this Queen is going to get picked off again. This is a good force here from Mana. This is by far the best early attack of the series, and he has killed 3 Queens so far, which is absolutely huge. That Spore Crawler goes down. Again, this Spore Crawler will be taken down. It is going to bury. Will it get this Void Ray? Another Void Ray goes down. Oh, shocking play there from Mana. Did not finish off that Spore Crawler in time, and he's forced to